Okay, so now we can have nested comments inside of our lessons, and we're going to style it a little more. Now we want to have the newest comments on the top, and we want to have the form also on the top. So we have two comments at the moment. One was created earlier, and the second one was created later. We want to have the one that was created later on the top. So we're going to add an order created at descending, so that the newly created ones will be on the top. Okay, and we're going to our form. So we go to lessons, comments, form. It looks okay, but we are going to nest it into some kind of container. So for this, we're going to our lessons show. First of all, we are going to put the new comment form above all comments. We will add some kind of favicon. So FA comment. We have comments, and underneath we'll have the new comment. So it will be in some kind of card header for new comment and card body for rendering the form. Let's see. So here we have a new comment section. Looks okay. Now we have two comments. The comments count will be right here. So we have two comments. We have a new comment section. Looks fine. Now we need some kind of spacing between the comments and the new comment section. So we'll add the spacing right here. Okay, and we have the comment form on top, and then we have the comments rendered. Now, what else do we want to do here? We want to have links to the users to be able to view their profiles. So we go to the comment partial, and we're going to have a link to user path, comment user, and we're going to have the comment user as the name. So we have a link to see this user. Okay. Now we're also going to show how long ago this was created, not just the date. The same way as we were creating the distance of time of words in our activity. So you see about 14 hours ago, something like this. So we'll go to our activity.html. So here we have the activity created at and time ago in words. We're just going to copy it and add it to our comment. And instead of activity, we are going to have the comment created at. Like this. So by admin, I will make it by to have the user. So we'll have the time ago by the user. First the time, then the user. Looks nice. So we have the content and the information about the user. Now let's reverse it. So first we'll have the card header where we'll have the time and the user. And in the card footer, let's try having the content. Let's make the card body. Okay, looks fine. So we have the content and we have the time and the user who created the comment. Looks nice. Now we're going to make the comments not full length, but only inside the same container as the lesson. So we're going back to lesson show. Here we have everything connected with the comments. And we're going to put it into this same column. So like this. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so it's nested inside the same column. Now let's make the comment sign a bit bigger. Let's see what we were using on our home index. So here we were using headers 2. We can also use a header 2 here. We go to our show. Here we have our comments. Header 2. Like this, looks fine. Now, as it's in a header, most likely we will not need an additional row. Okay, actually, it's too big, in my opinion. We'll make it smaller. Header 4. Okay, let's go to our course. We have our course. So we can go to any lesson and see the comments for this lesson. We go to another lesson. We see that there are no comments yet. Looks nice. Now we'll actually want to add counter cache to our comments. So we'll see how many comments each lesson has, and we'll want to see how many comments each user added. So for this, we're going to add 2 more fields: Rails generate migration, add counter cache comments. So we're going to add a comments count field to our users and to our lessons. Now let's see how we were doing it previously. So we added counter cache to our models. It looked like this. Let's see. So we had a column. We have our table users. We're going to add comments count. And we're going to also add it to lessons. Okay, now we run the migration. Okay, and now when we go to our, for example, course.rb, we had this counter cache true. So it would mean that we must update the comments count or on our lessons and on our users when this counter cache true is present in our comment.rb. So we are going to comment.rb, models, comment.rb, belongs to user, belongs to lesson, counter cache true. Okay. So if it's true, the field comments count in users and in lessons will be updated by 1 whenever a comment is created or deleted. Now we can go to our lessons preview and also show how many comments it has. Or we can go to our lesson, and now I will start the server and show not the comments.count as we have here, but we will have at lesson.comments count like this. Let's see if it works. So we have 2 fields, but the lesson comments count wasn't updated yet because this is something existing already. Now let's try creating a comment, and we see that the count was increased by 1. So whenever the comment account is created with counter cache, the number increases or decreases by 1. And for existing fields, we have to update it in the console. So we will have to go to our Rails console to make this comments count field look correct. And here we'll have to write these 2 commands that I've created. So we'll have to take all the users and update the comment counters. Now, unknown variable comment. Maybe because we did not run the migration, so we go to exit, rake db migrate. Oh, actually, we did run the migration. I will start the server once again, the console once again. Now I've slightly modified this formula for updating the counters, and it should work. Okay, this one worked for the user, and we're going to run it for the lesson. It worked. Now we'll go back to our server and we'll see if the fields are identical. The count and the count of records and the number in the database. And they are identical. So it worked. We can go back to our lessons show and remove one of these 2 views. So we go to views, lessons, show, and we remove the comments.count. Looks good. Now we can go to our user view and also show how many comments this particular user has created. We'll show it in his view. So we'll go to users, user, and here we'll have comments count. So we'll add a row, fa comment, comments, and equals user dot comments count. Let's see. So we see how many comments this particular user has left. Now let's go back to our courses. We'll go to this course, and we can also display how many comments the course has in the view, in the preview. So we have our lesson preview, and here we can somewhere also display how many comments it has. So for example, we can have FA comment, and we'll have equals lesson dot comments count, like this. And you see this way we can also see how many comments this lesson has. Now we're going to make it visible on the sidebar right here, even if the lesson isn't the owner, or even if the user isn't the owner of this lesson. And if we want, we can also make it visible how many views and how many impressions there were on each lesson. So to make it visible how many user lessons there are, we can create something like FAI and equals lesson dot user lessons dot count. So we see how many unique users have viewed this lesson, and just one user. Now, if we view this lesson from another user, for example, we will log in as the student. We'll go to this lesson. We'll try to view something, but we cannot do it because we don't have permissions. They're going to buy the course, and then we try to view one lesson. We'll try to leave a comment. So I can leave a comment, and I can see how many unique users viewed this lesson, but we're not going to make it visible for everybody. Though we're going to make it visible for our admin user. Oh no, actually the user that created the lesson. So we see we don't see it, but the creator of the lesson, who has the policy to edit the lesson, will be able to see how many unique users have viewed the lesson. Looks fine. And we can also show how many unique impressions were there. So how many times each lesson was opened. Now we remember that we count each impression. So each time a user goes to the lesson show action. So going back here, we can do something like FA I once again, and we'll have lesson. And now we're going to have a sum of all the impressions. So we're going to map the impression map lesson dot user lesson dot map impressions sum. Let's see if it works, and we see how many impressions there are on each lesson. Let's try opening the lesson once again, and there are 132. So this also works. Now we're going to make it visible also only for the user who created this particular course and lesson. So right here, and impressions. Like this. Now if we log in as the creator of this particular course and go to the course, so my courses and this course, we see how many comments there are, how many impressions, and how many unique views. Looks nice. But now we actually need some functionality to delete comments. So if a comment was not created with the needed quality, and if it is just spam. So we're going back to our comments controller. We'll switch everything that we don't need off. Our controllers, comments controller, and here we're going to add one more method, def delete. And let's see how we're using delete on, for example, lessons. So we get the current lesson and get destroy. So we'll just copy it. Now we're going to delete not the lesson, but the comment. So we take add comment.destroy. And we're going to do redirect to the same place as save. So course lesson path. Like this. And we are going to set the comment, set the course, and set the lesson. Now, first we're setting the course and the lesson. And to set the current comment, we're going to have add comment equals comment friendly find params ID. Okay, and then we're going to call comment dot destroy. And now we're going to add it to our views. So in our comment view, we're going to have a possibility to destroy the comment. Now let's see how we destroy anything. So let's go to our lessons, for example, our lesson preview, and here we have a destroy action. Let's copy it from the lesson, and we'll add it here. So we're going to destroy. Now we're going to destroy at course, at lesson, comma, comment, method delete, data are you sure. Let's try to check if it works. So we're trying to delete this comment that has a 2. Let's try to destroy. Okay. Okay, the action destroy could not be found in the comments controller. Most likely because we named it delete. So we make it destroy. We go back, refresh, and try once again. So destroy. Now undefined method friendly, because we're not using friendly ID for our comments yet. So we can go back and make it not friendly, just find by params ID. Okay, we go back once again, refresh, and try to delete. And comment was successfully destroyed. Let's see. Yes, indeed, the comment is missing. So we managed to successfully add a destroy mechanism for our comments.